Sometimes the grass isn't greener on the other side. It's green where you water it, and we water the grass here.
Tell us what it was like being at the dunk last night.
That was the most chaotic environment I've ever been in my life.
Friar Town is Title Town tonight.
Here's Pip, guarded by Gillespie. Steps back, spins, fires. Woo! Pip gets.
Who run shit like me? Top 5 basically. I still play for keeps. Ain't no fantasy. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Divine Providence. This is Season 2, Episode 17. We're coming to you after a victory against Butler, which is the first time in a while. Last time PC won was against Creighton. That was, January 15th, 16th. So, not quite a month, but almost. It feels good to be back in the win column. Obviously, the Friars still have a very long way to go before talking about having, a good finish or successful rest of the season. But there is hope in Friar Town. Obviously, we're looking toward the future, and we're going to talk a lot about coaches today. We talked a little bit last time, and it was just me and Mack. We're happy to bring Mike back today after his little vacation to the West Coast. But we're going to get a little more in depth about the coaches today, so we're excited about that. First off, let me kick it over to Mike. Mike, you were in the sunshine while we were freezing. How you doing back in the cold?
Sucks. I mean, it is. I got lucky though, so I went to LA. My cousin Gab lives in LA. Shout out my cousin Gab. It's usually like 60, 65 around there right now. It was 85, not to rub it in. It was like 85 for the 3 or 4 days I was out there. Beautiful. Hit Venice Beach, did a bunch of walking over there. We did Hermosa Beach, beautiful. Manhattan Beach. Went to the Laugh Factory. Trevor Wallace. You guys know who Trevor Wallace is?
Of course. Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. And then the main guy that night was Dane Cook. I had no idea he was even doing comedy anymore. Went to Anderson Park's new bar. It was sick. So no, it was a great trip. You best believe I was rocking my Patriot stuff. I had Friars gear on, always got a rep. And then coming back, it's like, so when you're in the storm and you see how much we got, you're like, all right, yeah, this sucks. When you go somewhere and come back and see all the snow, you're like, we got fucking walloped.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. So, but yeah, it was a great trip. Good to be back though. And I guess it's going to be back in the win column. We'll take any win we can get.
Absolutely.
It's tough. I last night's game, I guess this episode is going to come out tomorrow. So Wednesday's game was absolutely electric. And you're riding this high, walking out of the arena, and now you're just like, you face reality. You're back out in the 15-degree weather, and you're facing reality of like, but like there's still more basketball to play, and like like the team that we were just breaking out the pitchforks for, it's the same team. It's a hodgepodge of emotions.
Definitely. I mean, when you like after the game, you're happy, you're scrolling on Twitter, you're on social media, you're looking at the message boards, whatever. And the reality sets in that, you went from 9-13 to 10-13. And it took a lot. It took Jaylin Sellers being, having his best performance of his career and playing through an injury, and Nilavan Daniels, a walk-on, hitting a corner three, to take the lead in regulation, which ended up going to overtime, by the way. So you just almost feel exhausted, and then you kind of get hit with the post nut clarity, if you will.
I'll tell you what stopped me in my tracks was seeing the picture of the kids with the paper bags over their head. I sent it in the group chat. I said to you guys, I go, imagine if someone from now went back in time to 2022 after we were in the Sweet 16, and they go, this is what's going to be happening in 2026. I would have said, you're smoking crack, buddy. Yep. Okay. And that's where this season has gone. It's very unfortunate that, that's what's going on in the arena. I wasn't at the game last night. I'll be there on Saturday against DePaul, but it looked, Mack, you were there, right?
Yes, sir.
It looked like one of the bleakest crowds for a Big East game we've seen in some time. It was, I could see it on TV. It didn't look good. It didn't sound great really until the end. And, say what you want about this season. Say what you want about Kim. A lot of it's warranted, considering where we've ended up. But To see the guys care makes me care. To see Jaylin Sellers getting fired up after that game, to see Nil going crazy after he hit that 3, Jameer Jones is going crazy on the bench. Jason Edwards is turning up for his teammates on the bench. These guys care, man. So you can't say they don't, because it was clear as day last night. They want to win. They care about each other as teammates. So that's a silver lining in this whole thing.
Yeah. First off, I do want to touch on the energy in the building, but I want to give our weekly shout out to the Coletta family. I was able to sit down there courtside with them for the game. Great game to be up close for. Caught a little flack from the officiating crew. Kip Kissinger will. I definitely want to touch on that later. Scumbag, but it was an awkward energy in the building, and before tip, you guys know how it is. You guys have been there a million times. The arena doesn't really fill up until like the last 5 minutes before tip off. But even then, it looked a little empty. I think the final attendance numbers were a little over 8,000, but it felt empty. It was an awkward energy in the building. And like, I don't like telling fans how to fan, but like at this point in the season, can you really blame people for being like, that's a Wednesday night, like it's cold, I'll just stay inside and watch it on TV? With the product we've seen on the court, like I don't blame anyone for thinking that way. The first 35 minutes of the game, it was a little weird. You're a little on edge. It's like, all right, this is the same old Friars team. And then boom, you're thrown into like a vintage game at the dunk, double OT. It's just electric. It was just a weird, ebbs and flows of the energy in the building.
And one thing about the bags, and then also just the energy in the building, like you said, I mean, Mac, you can't blame fans. Last year, if you remember when Kim got into it with the fan in section 234, which is my section, but I was not in that section that game. I was down in like 105 with you, Mac, where he yelled at the fan. He was like, you can come down here and coach. After the game, he said, like, I apologize. Like, apathy is worse than anger, or something along those lines. Like, I would rather have you guys angry at me and yelling at me than be apathetic and not care. And that's really where a lot of fans, I think, have reached the point of just kind of not caring, which is a very scary place to be. It's way worse than an angry mob, when you don't have a fan base or a group of fans that might be totally bought in to what they're seeing on the court. That's going to affect the pockets. It's going to affect the long-term health of the program. So you got to find a way to get right back there.
Yeah, I'm excited to go on Saturday just to be back in the building. When was the last game? I think the last game was Georgetown, but you can't forget this is still our team, and this is who we root for, and they represent the name on that jersey as Providence. And like I said, it hasn't been pretty, but you just got to kind of ride. You just got to kind of ride the wave at this point, and just hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm not apathetic. I'm still there going crazy. I'm on my couch last night. But a lot of fans are.
It felt good to feel something though. I will say, like, I was screaming like it was like the Friars were in the Elite Eight with a ticket to the Final Four on the line, like just digging into the refs. And I think we're sickos. We're mentally ill individuals, and in a lost season, we'll still get up for the team. One thing I wanted to point out, and I don't know how much reporting has been done on it at the time of recording, but Stefan Vox took a hard fall in the second half, I believe. Didn't come back into the game. He went straight to the locker room, and I believe it was the knee that he had surgery on over the summer. I could be mistaken on that. And just another, just a fuck you to this nightmare season. You got the injury reports already filling up. They're going to have to, whoever edits the Big East injury reports, they're going to have to shrink the size of the font every Friars game, because there's just more and more names piling up. I'm not sure the status of Vox's injury, but if he's out long term and it's not good, I mean, that's just, you're going to get some big Jack Williams minutes.
One other thing I wanted to mention too is just how insanely lucky we got that Bizjack missed those 2 free throws. This kid was 18 for his last 18 prior to those 2 misses, and he entered the night in the conference overall at 85%, leading Big East, and he was 12 for 12 on the night. And you missed 2 there? That is crazy.
Yeah. I was watching the game with my girlfriend, and I was like, once he got fouled, I was like, first off, I was yelling at my TV. I was like, how can you call that there? I'm not necessarily saying it wasn't a foul, but you can't call that in that situation. What happened to refs understanding the moment and knowing that a game really shouldn't end at the free throw line unless someone gets walloped? I mean, if you think back to, we had a game at Butler. I think it was at Butler 2 years ago where Corey Floyd drove to the hoop in the final seconds and got absolutely demolished, and we did not get the call. But, she's like, oh, well, maybe he'll miss. And I'm like, it's not going to happen. Like, this guy is not going to miss 2 free throws. And all he needs is 1, And I was just like so demoralized. But sure enough, he missed both.
Crazy.
Absolutely nuts. That was the basketball gods. I'm going to send you guys a video. I was recording like the final probably 30 seconds of the game. And right where Bizjack drew the foul, I was right there, and you can see him drag that right foot right before he flops and tries to, bait Osmond for the foul. That was a miss. He shouldn't have been at the line in the first place. Obviously, ball don't lie. But missed travel made 3? Just missed travel, bad call. But yeah. I mean, we were shitting horseshoes when Finley Bizjack missed 2 straight free throws.
Yeah.
I read the stat wrong. He entered the night second in the conference in overall free throw percentage, and he leads the league during Big East play at 92%. So whatever. He's a really good free throw shooter, and he missed 2 in the most important time, and is the reason why they ended up going on to win that game.
It's kind of funny, too, and almost ironic, because I would say going into that game, we probably had – if you looked at like the worst losses and the most like devastating and heartbreaking losses toward the end, we probably held 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe even 5. And after that game, Butler, honestly, that might be worse than all of them. Like, to have the game in your hands with 3 seconds left at the free throw line with your best free throw shooter in possibly the conference, arguably, and come out empty and then lose the game is unbelievable. At Marquette was really bad. Really, really bad, but to lose that way for Butler is horrendous.
I still think us blowing the lead against Georgetown is worse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but like there was no final second moment like there was against Marquette or like with this game, whereas like Georgetown kind of just stomped us in the last minute or 2. So
if we lost another double overtime game to Butler within the span of 2 months, you would have had to call a hotline for me.
Yeah.
Especially
after the free throws.
Oh, yeah. That was like you need to win. Like, you just got thrown the biggest bone. Like, you need to win. You need to pull it out.
Exactly. Totally agree. But nonetheless, it seemed like it was a really fun time to be at the Amp last night. Obviously, I know the crowd wasn't as good. But that's what can you expect? I mean, we're 2 years in a row with finishing toward the bottom of the conference. It's a weeknight. The opponent really isn't that good. And I mean, that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen to absolutely anyone. So
I think I want to pivot here.
All right. Yeah. Pivot away, man.
So there was a story time before we switch gears. There was an incident last night at the game with one referee, Kip Kissinger, who may be the thinnest skinned mental midget in stripes I've ever seen in my life. Mike, I remember earlier in the season where you were talking about at the Harvard scrimmage, you and your dad were giving it to the ref. Was it Gaffney?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, bad call. Oh, no, good call.
Yeah.
This guy, Kip Kissinger, we're giving it to him because terrible call, out of bounds call on Mila in the corner. And we're just giving it to the ref or whatever. And Dave Coletta, like, not cursing or anything. Kip turns around to Dave. He's like, oh, you want to get kicked out of here? just like right to just like not even like joking around like, oh haha, no, that was a good call, don't worry. Straight into him. You want to get kicked out of here? Like he was just on edge right away. I think it's because he knew he was in Providence, like probably on edge, but just threatens to kick Dave out right away. Next time out, Kip walks over to the scores table, alerts security, and security comes over. Crooked Amp security, which I know, Leb, you got your gripes against Amp security.
Oh yeah.
Immediately, like, you got to go. And we're talking to the security, like, hey man, we're like, nothing is out of bounds here. We're not like making death threats to this guy. We're not like cursing at him. So Dave just, moved back a row, but Kip Kissinger, the thinnest skinned mental midget I have ever seen in my life, parlayed with the, what's the word? Dictatorship that is Amp security, just made for a nightmare scenario, like right towards the end of the first half last night.
Soft. That's soft,
So
bud.
soft.
This is the Big
Baby
East,
shit.
man. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly unbelievable, honestly. I've sat next to Dave. I know Dave, and I mean, like, he would never cross the line, and there's a line, like, if you're a ref and you're getting yelled at, and you're getting criticized, it's like, it's the sport, man. It's college basketball. Like, you want that, go umpire AAA baseball. Like, you want to not be heckled.
Mm-hmm.
What, Lev? We're not going to be behind home plate at a Woo Sox game going crazy?
I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Dude, wait,
More for just the fun of heckling an umpire. No.
I know.
This is life or death shit. You
Yeah.
can't handle it. You need a reality check.
Yeah. I've still never been to Polar Park.
Yeah.
Me neither.
No. It's a nice
I'm very
place.
disappointed in myself.
Yeah. It took me a year or two after McCoy, McCoy very near and dear to my heart. But once I finally went to Polar Park, beautiful. They did a great job. You can walk around the whole park. Everything's nice and new. The field is really nice. So I like it.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go this summer for sure.
I say every summer, I'm going to make it out there. I spent 4 years up over there in that neck of the woods. Never been to Polar Park, and it's just it's like McCoy in the sense where it's like, AAA baseball game. It's low stakes. You're not going really for like the result of the game. It's more so you're going out for the vibes.
Get an ice cream and a hat. Get a big soda, hot dog.
We need to advance the program north and northwest into that area. I think there's a lot of people in that area that like sports, and I don't know how intense they are about college basketball, but Boston College is a train wreck. And honestly, rooting for UConn is no fun. Like, I know those Worcester people are kind of like a straight shot to Hartford, but like, if you're just going to decide on who to root for, is rooting for UConn that fun? I don't know. It's kind of like you turn on a video game and you beat the boss like right away. Like, that's not fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, are there a bunch of Holy Cross fans out there? I can't imagine that many people are following Holy Cross.
Can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, BC is way more of a dumpster fire than us, but this is a hard time to ask people to hop on the train, but
you're right. Come out to the amp and see Jameer Jones.
Yeah. Come on out. Come stand in line for an hour at the bathroom at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Don't say anything too loud or you might get tackled.
Yeah. Very true. Your beer has to get poured in a cup if you look under 30.
Yeah.
Which then makes it take 39,000 times longer to get your beer, because now they have to crack your beer, pour it. Now it's full with suds. Now you got to wait for the suds to go down. And this kid orders 3 beer, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me here. It's crazy.
It's truly a nightmare. And it all goes back to one thing, and it's the fact that the entire operation is run by the state of Rhode Island. And the state of Rhode Island has no idea what they're doing with anything.
They don't care about the culture that makes our beloved program great.
Nope. They just want to get through it, go home, nuke their supper, and go to bed.
You're showing your age referring to it as nuking food.
It's more of a Departed quote if you've seen The Departed.
Oh, okay. My bad. No, I'm not very what's the word? Cinematically inclined. Is that
Oh, you have to have seen Departed. That's not cinematically inclined. That's being from the area.
Yeah, it's also like a Best Picture, award winner. So I'm not a movie shamer guy. I have a girlfriend who has seen like one movie in her entire life, and I don't shame her. And I show her movies, and she's like, "Wow, that was great," But I'll shame you on that one. I mean, Departed is,
Yeah, fellas, I got some bad news for you. Just lot of big movie. I think I might have talked about this on here. Like, you name a big movie, I have probably not seen it.
Well, at least the Boston movies, the Town.
The Town, yeah, yep.
Good Will Hunting.
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay.
All right.
The Town, I will say, The Town was like a recent first time watch though, and it was only because of like Joe Mazzulla's entire personality is based off The Town. I was like, all right, I got to watch The Town now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching The Town because of Joe Mazzulla is just
he's my hero.
Makes me a little sad, but whatever. We'll move past it. I will say, shout out in The Town. They do wear the Believe in Boston shirts made by Sully's Tees, who we're hoping to partner up with on some merch. So we'll have more of that soon for you guys. But some exciting stuff.
Yeah, shout out to Sully's Tees, everybody over there, A1, great people, and we hope to be having some shirts for you guys soon. So stand by on that news.
Shirts that go on your body, and then shirts that you may be able to watch Coach on the sideline. So that's a perfect segue.
Yes.
To the next topic, which we're going to talk about, which is who is going to be coaching the Providence College Friars in 2026, 2027. So we all can kind of agree, right, that Kim English is probably going to get fired. I think we all want that at this point. It's not to say that the season isn't over. It's not to say that we won't root for the team. But I think we can all kind of look for the next Friar coach and maybe get a little excited about it. And that's what we're going to do. So I don't know, Mack, do you maybe want to start with someone that you like? Maybe, a sleeper candidate? I mean, then we can kind of work our way backwards.
Yeah. So I compiled a list of names, just things I've been hearing. And before we got on air, I said a lot of the guys I did research on for this episode aren't necessarily my top guys, but like interesting names nonetheless. A name like Travis Steele has been thrown around. Travis Steele, head coach of Miami of Ohio. Anyone who follows college basketball at a national level knows that Miami of Ohio, I think, is the national darling this year. They're out of the Mack, top 25 in the country. They're undefeated at the time of recording. What's the Moneyball meme where it's like his one defect? So this is Miami of Ohio. Their one defect is they have the 360th hardest schedule in the country. And I think that's where I've been turned off by Travis Steele a little bit. The idea of that, it's like, okay, he's got this thing humming, but like, who are you playing? It's a couple D2 schools. You're playing, nobody, low majors. But the more I look into it, like Miami of Ohio was competitive in the Mack last season, and the one selling point for me on Travis Steele was that the reason they're competitive this year is because of how much they retained from last year. And retention in today's landscape is huge. Obviously, it's probably night and day in the Mack versus the Big East, but retention is huge. And I think the fact that Travis Steele could do that, and now you look at his record at Miami of Ohio, it's hard to ignore.
Yeah, and for Steele, Miami of Ohio, they, besides the COVID shortened season, they had not posted a winning record since the 2008-2009 season, which is a very long time ago. So yeah, I mean, for sure turn the program around over there. I like that name. Of course, Josh Schertz is out there. Of course, that's everyone's number one candidate right now. A lot of people like Gerard Calhoun, Utah State. He built up Youngstown State, and with the Utah State, he's doing really well. I was looking at Takeo Siddle, UNC Wilmington, a little bit more of a project, but he's 122-49 at UNC Wilmington since 2020. Took him to the tournaments. All he's really done is win. You want a winning coach. These are just names I'm kind of just throwing out there. And then Brian Hodgson, USF. He's a New York native, so he's a Northeast guy, and he was an assistant under Nate Oates forever at Buffalo and Alabama. So, he's kind of learned that winning pedigree, and he's kind of brought USF back. So Hodgson is another name that I was kind of looking at. I'm seeing so many of them. The UConn assistants, Luke Murray, Kimani Young. Hey, don't shoot the messenger here. Trust me, I don't really want any UConn guys either. And I don't think I can see them coming here to begin with. The only thing would be is if Luke Murray came here, if like Bill Murray's courtside at all the PC games would kind of be electric. But yeah, that would kind of feel weird having UConn guys in-house. But
yeah, it's just more for me. Like I'm open to the idea of a Luke Murray, but I just don't think this time around you can afford to miss. So like a guy who's never been a head coach at the D1 level is just a massive risk for me. And I just don't know, after 2 really bad seasons, we can afford to miss. I would like to go back to Travis Steele, if that's okay with you guys. Of course. So we can kind of attack these maybe one by one. But Travis Steele is interesting because I think there are a long list of coaches that, have coached at a Power 5 job, maybe failed, gone down, and then kind of rebuilt their brand. And then once they go up again, they succeed. I think you're seeing that right now with Richard Pitino, who hasn't really had success at Xavier yet. But we all agree that was a really good hire, and he did so well at New Mexico. So, it's interesting for sure because he has Big East experience, but also on the other side of the coin, you look at it like, well, he failed in this league at one point in time. So it really just comes down to obviously what you prioritize, and maybe you interview with a guy like that and he wows you and you pull the trigger. But I think in that same category, former Xavier coach, we talked a little bit about this before the show, Chris Mack. Chris Mack is an interesting name. I think he's not having a ton of success at Charleston right now, but he has had a ton of success in the Big East before, and then he took the Louisville job. So another interesting name. Any thoughts on Chris Mack?
Yeah, his name I think has been thrown out a lot, and it took me going back to his basketball reference page to be reminded of how good Chris Mack was when he was in the Big East. He had Xavier as like a perennial top 10 team at one point. In the 5 years he spent at Xavier in the Big East, he went 5 for 5 making the tournament. Coach of the year in 2018, regular season champs 2018. This is a guy who's won in the Big East. Obviously, he's gone to Charleston. You have questions about can he adapt with the NIL era? But he had a stop in between Charleston and Xavier, Louisville, where he at one point had Louisville number 1 in the country. Another guy, like I said, another guy with Big East experience. It's interesting to think about, and Travis Steele came from that Chris Mack tree. So,
yeah,
7 times, 10 times going to the NCAA. He was an A10 Coach of the Year, 2010, 2011. I mean, really, a majority of this guy's career, he's won, and you want a proven winner to come in here. You want to hit the ground running. Some of the guys I mentioned, that might not be the case. I'm just, I'm naming some names of some commodities right now. But, if I had to pick, I would rather have a guy who's proven at a high level. Chris Mack's definitely one of them. And if we stay on the Xavier train, my guy, this could be a pipe dream. I think Richard Pitino makes all the sense in the world, and he's went to school at PC. He was a student manager here.
Friar.
And he's a Friar. So his father coached here, and people could say, well, that would make us hypocritical because of the whole Cooley thing. No, it doesn't. He's been there for a year. He's went to school here. That cancels everything out. And he's not screwing over Xavier after being there for how long was Cooley here for? Freaking
11
years. And he was from here and he completely just disappeared overnight and screwed us over. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's a match made in heaven. A lot of things would have to go right for that. Xavier would have to do the whole buyout, whatever. You waive the buyout. I don't know how a lot of that shit works, but I think he would be great here. And then we also talked about, someone like a Shaheen Holloway, another Big East guy. That's when I think it might get a little bit hypocritical, seeing as he went to Seton Hall, he's their guy. I think it's a little bit different here. I understand it's still within conference, but these stories are all a little bit different here. Yeah.
I'd like to put both of those in kind of the same bucket, right? Like the argument for Richard to come here is that the PC's his alma mater, great. And the argument for Shaheen not to come to leave Seton Hall is that it's his alma mater. I think that sometimes those arguments might contradict each other when you're looking at like Pitino maybe coming to PC. So, like, I really like the idea of exploring both of those guys. Yeah, it makes us a little hypocritical, but at the end of the day, I've never really been all that upset at Georgetown. All my anger, all the quotes about Cooley, all the stuff on social media has always been at Ed Cooley for how he left and just for leaving in general. Georgetown, I think that they've kind of caught strays as a result, but the second Ed Cooley leaves there, I'm not going to hold any ill will toward Georgetown, So while it still makes us hypocritical, I still think that it's very well worth exploring both Pitino and Holloway.
Yeah, I think the Pitino thing's interesting. Like you said, Mike, it's a match made in heaven. And I do think the Cooley and Pitino comparisons are kind of night and day. The one gripe I would have with it, and this is kind of like us being potentially hypocritical, is you went 40 years in the Big East without a coach making an interconference change. And now you're going to have it twice in a 3 or 4 year period. It's just like, okay, well, now I guess Ed would take the flack for it, but like, did we just open a can of worms here where this is going to happen more consistently than the previous 35, 40 years of the Big East? But yeah, I think the Pitino thing's a match made in heaven. Also, think about the media coverage. If you want the national media to blow the shit out of Providence College, you hire the prodigal son of one of the best college basketball coaches of all time, who got his start at that school. The ESPN coverage, the Fox coverage, like, you'll have everyone covering that. That would be massive.
It would be huge. And the other thing I was going to say about going back to Cooley, it's like he was building something here and we had momentum. That's the thing. This guy's been at Xavier for 1 year and they're 12-11 right now. So it's like you haven't built much of a relationship with the school. I think it's completely different. And I understand it's been a while, since the people have gone from school to school in the Big East. Like I totally understand that. But just 1 year, I think, is totally doable for a guy who went to school here. And like you said, Mac, you could blow that storyline out of the frickin' water. I know they already are with Pitino playing against Pitino right now, but it's a bigger deal. It's like, Rick coached here. He took him to a Final Four. The son, he went to school here. It's a perfect story. And I know, like a Fox or a TNT, you could do 1,000 features on this, get them both in a room, do the whole 9 thing, interview them. So yeah, I think it would be great for everybody involved.
And not to mention when Cooley left, like, show of hands, who wanted Rick Pitino as the head coach of the Friars?
I would have took Rick Pitino. Are you kidding me?
Listen, if Richard Pitino is the head coach of the Friars next year, Rick's only getting older. He's only 1 year closer to retirement. Like, that's not a guy that St. John's has as an asset anymore. It's more so Rick's more aligned with Providence, I would imagine. It's just things to think about. And you want to think about longevity. Like, I've thought about things, traits in a coaching candidate that it more short term, more long term. The short term is like, who would this guy bring over with him? Does he have good recruits in his back pocket that he can bring over? Long term, it's like, okay, well, what does 4, 5, 6 years down the line look like when he's at this program?
Yeah.
So it's things you struggle with. Like, I don't think Richard would really bring anyone over short term, but long term, like there's added benefits.
Rick Pitino becoming a Providence asset again, I think would be fulfilling for both him and the school. I mean, that's where he launched his basketball coaching career. You know, I mean, he had success at Boston University, don't get me wrong, but where he became, you know, Rick Pitino was Providence College, and then he, you know, took the Knicks job. So it really, I think it would be a good fit. I think the only counter argument toward maybe Richard thinking twice is to put Xavier in a position where they have to do, you know, a coaching search 2 years in a row is a little bit, you know, a little bit sneaky, a little bit snaky, right, if you will. But, you know, it's the Pitino family. I mean, we don't worry about that in the Pitino family, right? I mean,
yeah, true. Rick Pitino, I take him to strip clubs and casinos.
Wait in the car. Wait in the car. I'll be out.
But yeah, listen, I mean, if the Big East has a problem with it, man, Val Ackerman set a precedent 3 years ago. So
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like you could genuinely open a can of worms.
Mountain West Coach of the Year, 24, 25. They were regular season champion in the tournament. So again, another, you know, semi-proven winner. He's gone to the tournament, you know, with Minnesota and New Mexico. So if people want to play devil's advocate about hitting the ground running, I think this is someone who could do that. But, you know, it's also all about building your roster back up. Because like we said, this whole team is probably going to be gone, for the exception of a couple of guys. So you're going to really have a lot of work to do. And as soon as they hire you, you got to hit the ground running and start building this roster, because that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate, if you're Richard Pitino, do you want to rebuild a roster 2 years in a row?
Fair.
Possibly a good point. I will say this, though. If you're factoring in resources, right, we know the problems with Xavier and their university right now. Also, you know, the NIL situation, the ability to spend is higher here. And, you know, his own father just went on an interview saying that Big East schools need to all commit to spending between $9 and $11 million on a roster per year. And that was not Xavier this year. So, you know, that was PC. We have a borderline $10 million roster. It didn't work out. Doesn't mean anything. We could have a $40 million roster. If we're not winning games, it means nothing. But when you're looking at it from a coach's lens, you're going to want to go to a place that has more resources naturally, right? Like, we all know that it makes PC an attractive job. Doesn't mean we're a top 20 job. Doesn't mean we're a top 25 job. But it means we're an attractive job because of the basketball commitment and the resources that we have.
Another guy I wanted to mention, and we kind of talked about him last episode, but I think I'm out on him, is Porter Moser.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Porter Moser, but clearly on the hot seat. And I think if a guy fails at one power conference job and he goes to another and fails, it walks like a duck. It talks like a duck. It's a fucking duck. I told you so. He's not succeeding at Oklahoma. And I think, you know, one tournament in 4 years at a school like Oklahoma, albeit it's a football first school, but that just doesn't scream, you know, if the athletic department's going to take a safe route to this hiring process. Porter Moser at surface level might seem safe, but I really don't think, like, if you're going to sign up for one tournament in 4 years, you're basically just copying and pasting what we're going through right now.
I don't hate the idea of Porter Moser for the only single reason that I feel like Porter Moser is a kind of guy that you can hire and not have to worry so much about it being a complete disaster like it is now, where, like, it might be Porter Moser kind of is like hitting a single or a double to me. You know, it's if it's a single, that's probably still bad, but it's like you're not going to be in the depths. You know, like if you reach for someone like a Luke Murray, right, who could be a home run, but he could be a complete miss. Where like Porter Moser, you know, I mean, he did make the tournament last year, right? Yeah, he did make the tournament last year. And obviously he, you know, at Loyola Chicago, he was famous for, I mean, Sweet 16 and a Final Four at Loyola Chicago. So, I mean, he elevated that program. He put them in the A10 from where they were before. I don't, something like Ohio Valley. I don't even know. But
yeah, I think they were Ohio Valley.
Missouri Valley. Sorry,
Okay.
I get those confused. Yeah. But yeah, he literally put them in the A10. Honestly, though, I think Porter Moser is a great fit for St. Louis because he coached there as an assistant for like 4 or 5 years after we take St. Louis's coach, Josh Schertz, who was the number 1 guy. So let's talk about Josh Schertz a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, seeing all these videos of him, you know, buying shots at the bar, you know, getting engaged with the fans, it's a match made in heaven. That's what this fan base is. I mean, this guy goes to Brad's and sits by the bar and buys everyone drinks. Are you kidding me? There'll be freaking Josh Schertz merch everywhere, you name it. And whatever his slogan is, we're chanting it. We're at the golf tournament. We're lifting him up on our shoulders. We're fucking going, woo, Josh Schertz. It's perfect. But his stock is just going through the fucking roof, and it's only going to go higher the further this guy goes in the tournament. So I think we're one of the best jobs in the country. I'm biased. I don't know how anybody else, you know, I can't put myself in anybody else's shoe. I know we have the backing for him, but it's going to come down to, you know, does he want to come here? But his price tag is going to continue to go up too. And are we going to want to pay that on top of the buyout for Kim?
Definitely. I will say one thing about Schertz right now, if we're competing for Schertz with the programs that are probably going to have openings, Syracuse, Cincinnati, I think the commitment to basketball and the NIL resources for basketball, because you don't have to spend, like, you get $22 million to spend next year. I think it's like 20 and a half this year. It goes to 22 million on NIL for all athletics. So when you don't have to spend that on, you know, football or like baseball, you know, you do have a leg up in terms of roster spending. Now that doesn't really mean all that much, but it is good for a coach. Like they want to come to a place with good NIL resources. The commitment to basketball here is huge. The fan base is huge. Obviously, I think Schertz is a really good fit. My biggest concern is if, like, say, you know, Shaka Smart decides he's just done with college basketball and Marquette opens up, or, you know, like another, you know, Power 5 that we're probably like a little bit below, you know, but not like too far below, like Syracuse and Cincinnati. Syracuse is a historic basketball program, but, you know, they've obviously fallen off and they still have to pay for a lot of other athletics where we don't. You know, same thing with Cincinnati. Honestly, I think that right now we would be in a good position. That doesn't mean that it'll be like that, you know, come March.
Yeah, I think Josh Schertz is the hottest. He's the hottest name in coaching right now for a reason, and it's because he's taken this St. Louis team and he's got them 21st in the country right now. They're humming. They are the creme de la creme in the A10 right now, and yeah, like you guys said, there's going to be people. We're not the only one. This is not some hidden secret that only Providence knows about. Yeah, there's going to be other quality programs hitting his line, you know, come mid-March, late March. But yeah, I mean, I'm biased too. I think Providence is one of the best jobs in the country, but I think when you lay it out objectively, it's a top 40 job. I think without an argument, it's a top 40 job in the country.
Mm-hmm.
When you factor in resources, you know, basketball culture, the fan base, the facilities, you know, you're playing in the Big East. It's purely basketball. And, you know, Schertz is a hoops guy. Like, this guy just loves ball. And he's won at every level. But then, you start to pay attention to the Cincinnatis, the Syracuses. Mike, I think you mentioned, was it Gerard Calhoun?
Yeah.
Is it Gerard or
Utah.
Jared Calhoun?
Maybe it's Jared.
Wait.
It's Jerrod.
Mike, did you have something else to add about Schertz? I know you're trying to.
No, I was just going to say, I think that the rev share here of just being basketball is one of the most attractive details of Providence. It's such a big deal. Like, people can't undermine how important that is for us, that we're a basketball centric school.
Yeah, and one thing too, I see St. Louis fans talk about endowment, right? And it's funny because it's like, that doesn't mean anything. NIL and landscape in NIL is so different than it. The landscape now, is so different than it was 5-6 years ago. But endowment really doesn't mean much. It comes down to commitment to the basketball program and how much you have to spend on other sports when it comes to, this is just roster spending. I'm not talking about coaches' salaries. Like, yeah, maybe a school with a bigger endowment could offer a basketball coach more money theoretically on an annual salary basis. But are they going to want to do that if they can only spend, $6 million on their basketball roster? That's the biggest question.
And the other thing too, you can think about with Schertz, he has only been playing devil's advocate. He has only been a coach for 5 years. And you look at some of these other guys, and they have a huge sample size, like a Mack, like a Richard Pitino. Some of these other guys have just a lot more of a sample size. So that's not a knock on him or anything. But if I had to play devil's advocate and say one thing, it's like the sample size is smaller with Schertz.
The one pushback I would give on that, and you make a good point, Mike. He's only been coaching D1 for so long, but Schertz spent, I think, about a decade at the D2 level, and turned, I think Lincoln Memorial is the name of the school, absolute D2 powerhouse. So this guy put in his time at the D2 level, went up to Indiana State, which I believe, I'm going to get twisted again. Is it Missouri Valley Conference?
Yes.
No. Missouri.
Yep, it is.
Indiana State, Missouri Valley. Okay.
Yep.
Did 2 years there, turned them into a powerhouse. Took the job at St. Louis, another step up. Now he's got them humming. This is like, I feel like, Leb, you talked about the home run superstar archetype of a coach, making his way through the ranks. I feel like this is the prototypical like 5-tool player type of archetype, where you see these quick rises and success. You show up, you build a program up, and then you take another step up in competition to the mid-major level. It's like, okay, let's build them up. Now, he's got St. Louis as a top 25 team, and it's like, all right, now it's my time to take the next step up to a power conference team. I feel like it's a very natural progression.
So do you want that? I'm sorry, Leb, this is my last thought on that. Do you want that? And okay, are we just going to be the next stop on his journey, and then he takes us to the Elite Eight or whatever, and then he goes to Kentucky? I don't know. I'm just making it up. Another step up. I don't know if I would. I want to win now because I'm sick of losing, but I also would like to have somebody that would be here for an extended period of time.
Honestly, that's exactly what I was going to say, and I think it improves our case for Josh Schertz. I think if Josh Schertz's long-term goal was to be a coach at a blue chip university like a Kentucky, whatever, UConn, Florida, like a blue blood, right? Then I think that coming to a place like PC that has a lot of resources for 4 or 5 years is a great stepping stone. Like, I'm okay with being a stepping stone to a bigger fish, right? Like, that's okay. Like, we should all be okay with that. If someone leaves PC to go to somewhere better, we should all be happy with that, because that means they had a ton of success here. If they leave us for Georgetown for the same exact amount of money, I think we should all be upset, personally.
Yes.
Like, if he's going to Kentucky, if he's getting the Kentucky job, that means he did a fucking awesome job.
Right.
Yeah. Leb, I want to go back to the endowment thing that you were talking about earlier. I think this is funny because I agree. Endowments mean nothing when you're talking about like athletic funding or how much money you can spend on basketball.
Right.
If there was some sort of correlation between a university's endowment and basketball success, the final four this year would be Harvard, Yale, Stanford and Princeton.
Right.
So I don't think there's much correlation between that.
There's not.
Northwestern would be a perennial Sweet 16 team. He's, who else? Penn.
Hey,
Columbia.
I mean, a Harvard Yale natty would go crazy. I do fear.
Bang. Honestly,
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
that would go so
Because
hard.
their football, right? The football's got the craziest, one of the longest rivalries. Harvard Yale game is crazy. They have a crazy tailgate. Fucking Harvard Yale natty.
Yeah. No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head that it doesn't mean much. And I understand where, fans are coming from, but the NCAA, we were asking for some rules and some regulations, and we still don't have many. It's the Wild West. But one thing the NCAA did with the clearinghouse settlement was put a number on a cap on what you can spend for NIL. So you don't have a lot of restrictions, but you have one restriction. And the one restriction is that they made severely benefits the basketball only schools that are predominantly in the Big East.
And the leadership is honestly crap right now when it comes to a lot of the NIL stuff and when it comes to the NCAA, when you just have these famous coaches are the ones coming out with ideas like Calipari's like, we should do this. And the other day, Rick Pitino was like, you got to be spending this amount of money. It's to the point where these guys are the biggest names in college hoops. And they're like crying for help, being like, can we have a cap on this stuff? Can we have some rules here, guys? Let's figure it out. I understand we're in the early stages of all this and there's going to be some growing pains, but let's get this thing into gear here.
Definitely.
Write some damn contracts.
Yeah, for sure. So, any other names you guys want to throw on the list? I mean, we talked a little bit about Shaheen Holloway. We didn't get too in depth about him. I don't think that that's realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? Could happen. Mack, you talked a little bit about before when this whole thing started. You liked John Becker. I don't know if you've changed your mind on that. I liked you liked Phil Martelli. I kind of was getting on to Phil Martelli a little bit. I was kind of like a little bit getting sold on that, but only 1 year at VCU. I don't know about that. Is there anyone else you maybe think you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the safe plays, like if you're just trying to get on base, it's a John Becker, it's a James Jones. We kind of touched on that last episode, and I don't know how much more else there is to talk about it. It's guys that have put their time in at one school and kind of had success. One name that I do believe has come up recently, and we also have some submissions from listeners about some names too we can talk about. But
yeah, we'll get to those for sure.
One name that has come up recently, and I haven't really looked too much into, is Chris Jans at Mississippi State. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Chris Jans. Obviously, coaching the SEC, that's a tough job, but I mean, that's another guy who could be on the move, another football school that, maybe going to a school in the Big East is a little more, hey, I could be the guy. This is what the funding goes to me. I'm not playing second fiddle to football. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on Chris Jans.
I like it. He's made the tournament almost every year there. They are like bottom of the bottom when it comes to basketball programs in the SEC and, commitment toward the basketball program. They have a little bit of fan interest there, so I'll give them a little bit of credit. But, yeah, they are toward the bottom for basketball. So I could definitely see something like that. I think that is kind of a good balance between trying to predict a guy that'll maybe be a home run and also kind of be a safe pick, right? Like, not saying he's a perfect candidate, but honestly, I would probably put him in like my top 3.
Okay. Actually, all right, better question. If you guys were to make a top 3, what are your top 3? If you were the head of the athletic department and you were given the golden ticket, blank check, here you go, who are your top 3 candidates?
And this could be like pipe dream people too.
Well, let's take out Billy though, because okay. I think we all agree Billy is 1, and then we got three guys after.
Bulls just keep losing. Just keep losing. Get them out of there. The experiment's over, Chicago. Don't you want to go back to the days of winning, like Michael Jordan? Hire a good NBA coach. Billy was meant to come back here. He should be here, but we all know that's probably not going to happen. Shit. Okay. Well, I love Richard, so Richard would be in mine. Schertz would also be in there. Let me think about my third. Lev, who do you got?
Well, I would probably say number one would be Schertz. Number two, I think it probably will be a toss-up between Calhoun or Pitino. You know, I think that Pitino is a really intriguing idea. I mean, that dude's been a head basketball coach of a D1 program since he was like 6 years old. I mean, when you look at his head coaching resume, I mean, he was a coach at FIU at in 2012. So he was, I mean, what, like that? He was like he was like 30. Like, that's insane. So, because he's like 45 now. I don't know,
something like that.
So
yeah, he was a grad assistant at PC too. No, early 2000s.
Yes, he was. Yeah. So I would definitely put him in there. And then I would probably put Jans and Holloway in the next category, you know? So that's, I mean, if I were giving three, it's hard to give three because a couple of guys are tied in my eyes, but like, I would say maybe like a top four, you know?
I think you mentioned Gerard Calhoun, and he's interesting. Utah State has sneaky been a breeding ground for really coaches taking their steps up. The first guy that comes to mind is like Danny Sprinkle, who I think, made a run with Utah State a couple years ago. Now he's at Washington. There were a handful of other coaches that have taken steps up from Utah State the last like 7-8 years. However, one thing that I think bodes in our favor, if we do want Josh Schertz, who's number one on my list, obviously, is Gerard Calhoun is a alum of the University of Cincinnati. And that is going to be one of our biggest competitors right now for Josh Schertz. So if Cincinnati says, hey, like, we don't want to break out the Brinks trucks for Josh Schertz, we got Gerard Calhoun, who's doing a pretty damn good job over there in the Mountain West. Maybe he wants to come back home.
I would probably put Calhoun. I was going to say Calhoun. I would probably put Calhoun as my third guy. He started at Youngstown State in 2017. Had a rough go his first couple seasons, but gradually over time, he built them up. They were the regular season champion in 22-23. They were 22-10 in 2024, and then he's been unbelievable at Utah State. Last year, they were 26-8, and they were in the tournament, and this year they're 19-3. So, I mean, he's red hot right now, but what is you guys' take about coaches coming from these, I guess you could call them more tame conferences, and then coming over here to a Big East and to a fan base like Providence where the people are just fucking batshit crazy? You need to have a guy who's mentally tough. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Kim, but you gotta – these people are fucking crazy and the Big East is nuts. So do you take that into consideration when looking at some of these guys?
I would.
I think you should, and I think that's that will definitely require some rigorous research, because like it's not something you can just kind of like Google. Like, is Chris Mack mentally tough? Is Porter Moser mentally tough? Like, it's like you got to kind of dig through the leaves there, and whether it's press conferences or articles that have been written, like you got to do the homework. I think that's above our pay grade. But like if we work for the athletic department, I think that's some stuff you got to look into, because we're seeing it right now. Like this fan base they don't give a fuck. They like, if you're not delivering, they'll let you hear it.
You would like to think some of this research is going on behind closed doors right now.
I would hope it's been going on for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
it has to have been. This is going to end up being one of the biggest hires in program history. Tell me a bigger time where it shit or got off the pot for this program.
It's probably this one, but it was also probably Ed Cooley. Honestly, Ed Cooley was
Fair.
probably the most important one. And then because we were dead in the water, and then he resurrected the program.
So I agree. We were dead in the water, but at the same time, it wasn't like we didn't have Buzz for a really long time before that.
Yeah.
We just had Buzz. We were just, a top program in the country. And with the blink of an eye, it's gone. So I feel like I don't think there was the pressure there was then. They were like, all right, hopefully Cooley works out. No, now people are like, this better fucking work.
Right. Totally agree. We cannot survive as a program another 10-year tournament drought, which is what we had when, we went from Tim Welsh 04 NCAA tournament losing to Pacific to Ed Cooley losing to UNC in 2014. That's a 10-year tournament drought. Cannot survive that again.
I have a funny, this just popped in my head, Pacific story. So there's a basketball court in my gym. So I was just shooting hoops by myself, and this kid came in, and he was just dribbling around. I was like, hey, if you want to shoot, I'll rebound for you. So he's shooting, he's just getting shots. I'm feeding him, chest pass, bounce pass. He's 3-point, bang, corner, elbow, bang, bang, backboard, going to the rim, dunking. I was like, damn, bro, you can ball. And I was like, where do you play? He goes, I forgot what high school he said he plays at, some prep school. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to Pacific next year. I'm playing basketball at Pacific. I go, oh, I know about you, man. You guys beat us in the 2004 NCAA tournament against Providence. I was like, do you remember that? Did you hear about that? He goes, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, because this kid's probably 18, 19 years old. And I'm like, shit, I am old, bro. And I was like, well, look it up. I'm a big Providence fan. So keep us in mind if you ever want to transfer. Couple years, you play at Pacific, come on down. Wicked nice kid. So yeah, that was funny.
Mikey
that
recruited.
Kid, yeah, seriously. Yeah, you know what? Put Mike Eamon's name on the list if we need another head coach. Mike Eamon, GM of the program.
Yep. I'll get out there. I'll get in some living rooms.
Yeah. That
dude,
kid,
he probably went home and was like, dude, that dude is fucking sick about PC basketball. Like that was 22 years ago.
Yeah.
It was the first I go, Pacific. I go, you broke my heart in 04.
Yep. Oh, fuck. I'm not rebounding for you anymore, buddy. Get the fuck out.
I'm out.
So that kid's probably, so he was a high school kid that was going to Pacific?
Yeah, he's a senior right now at some prep school in the area near Quincy. I forget what he said. Shit. This was a few weeks ago now.
Which means his birthday was probably 2008, 2009. He wasn't even a glimmer in his father's eyes in 2004.
No. Yep.
How is that program doing right now? Look them up.
I think their conference is falling apart with the.
Is it?
What are they in the WAC?
I believe so.
Tough loss to Santa Clara yesterday, 71-56. They're 15-10 right now.
Oh, they are. They're in the WCC. The with the Pac-12 coming back next year, like all these teams are getting jumbled around. Like the Mountain West is going to get all jacked up. The WCC, the WAC, all these Western conferences are going to start to realign.
I didn't realize they're in Stockton, California, home of Dallas Braden. Oakland A's great.
Now, listen, you got to let Dallas hear it. Like, oh, hey, Pacific.
I know. I should have said something like, dude, you fucking kidding me, Dallas? How could you do that to us?
Pacific's in Oregon.
This says why am I seeing Stockton, California location? Stockton, California.
Hold on. Pacific University, Forest Grove. Oh wait, is this the wrong Pacific?
Yeah, this says Pacific men's basketball located in Stockton, California. Unless Wikipedia is wrong, I shouldn't be doing my research on Wikipedia. But
sorry, wait. So Pacific men's basketball or Pacific University men's basketball?
Wait, what?
Pacific.
Because I'm seeing Pacific University is also in, what is it?
Yeah,
Forest Grove.
D1 member, part of the West Coast Conference.
Dude, what? So Pacific University and the Pacific Tigers men's basketball, they're not the same thing?
Yeah, because it says right here, first round, beat Providence 66-58, 2004, first round, and then they lost to Kansas the next game.
Yeah, dude, they're in Stockton, California. Wow, I actually feel like an asshole.
Okay.
I asked as a trivia question in our live show, and I guess it was wrong.
Yep. Yeah, because I do remember that question.
Tom Pont out of a hat.
So here's the difference. Pacific University, yes, is in Oregon. That's a separate non-D1 school. The school that is in California that beat the Friars in 2004 is University of the Pacific.
Oh God.
That would be the Pacific Tigers.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Wow.
That sounds right. Because I'm looking on Wikipedia. Also the other sources too, not just Wikipedia. But also, fuck the teacher in high school that told you can't use Wikipedia. Like, dude, who is changing information about like
Agreed.
the Civil War, like a small battle in the Civil War? Like, dude, go home.
How do you even do that? Have you?
I don't know, dude.
Can anybody just go in here and change this shit? I mean, that just feels
but it gets rectified like very quickly.
Yeah.
I remember there was a thing going around, and it was like sports fans when, like, let's say, Xander Bogaerts goes yard off the Yankees in the wild card game in 2021. Someone will go into the Wikipedia page and like change the Yankees team owner name to Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, that's funny. And they'll screenshot it quick, and like that's funny. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Pacific Tigers retired numbers. The one name that I noticed here that sticks out to me, my guy Michael Olowokandi.
Oh wow.
95 to 98.
It looks like Damon Stoudemire too. That's a pretty nice haul there. Olowokandi.
Wow, his number's not retired? Because I don't see it here. That's crazy.
I'm on Wikipedia. It says, oh no, that was he. No, he's the coach. Sorry, I just saw the name. He
still, I mean,
he was their coach. They hired him.
Oh, I see it now. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did we play? No, we didn't play against Olowokandi. Olowokandi was probably drafted in the 90s.
Yeah, he was 95 to 98.
Yeah.
Wow, who would have thought we were getting into some in-depth Pacific basketball talk on this episode?
Seriously,
we're forever tied to our program.
We got wounds. I remember every team we lost to in the tournament, like in depth. Just so much trauma.
Yeah,
Robert Williams.
Mm-hmm.
The Robert Williams alley-oop is forever cemented in my brain.
So we sent out a tweet the other day asking people for their kind of coaching candidates, and I think we've kind of gone over most of them. Your Porter Mosers, Leb, you kind of touched on Luke Murray a little bit. Travis Steele, Gerard Calhoun, Jeremy Wilner's a name that came up a lot.
Shout out Big Will.
What about Scott Cross from Troy?
Okay.
Where was he before?
He was at just had it. Texas Arlington. UT Texas Arlington.
UT Arlington. Sunbelt, by the way. Sunbelt's a dope conference. You're doing yourself a disservice if you're not watching the Sunbelt.
He's been a head coach for 19 years, and he's had a winning record at all but 5 seasons. I mean, they're pretty unassuming programs, but I mean...
Yeah, I mean, regular season champ last year. They're obviously humming this year. I think they're first in the Sunbelt. It's an interesting name. I'd be lying if I said I knew a lot about him. But, yeah, this kind of fits like that mid-major build. He's been there for a while. I mean, he's been at the mid-major level for 20 years now.
Yeah.
Brought UT Arlington to 3 different conferences.
He spent a season as an assistant for Jamie Dixon with TCU during the 18-19 season.
Philly Burner said Tony Stubblefield. Don't like that one.
So Jared Grosso.
Jared Grosso is a complete no. Plus Fryer said Porter Moser. We talked about that one. Frierini, friend of the show, said Josh Schertz, Luke Murray. Hot on one, very cold on the other. Friar Storm said, fuck it, Bryce Cotton. Love it. Daily Sack said Jack Manning or Condoleezza Rice, which Jack Manning, not enough experience. Condoleezza Rice, I don't know if the Cleveland Browns will let us talk to her. Donnie Mexico said Dan Hurley. Love that one. Yancey said Tommy Gufano. Love that one. PC Shepard said Pete Gillen. Pete Gillen's 78 years old. There we go. Takayo Siddle. That's a Mike Eamon guy.
Yep.
We got some Richard Pitino's.
Oh, here's a good one.
Jerry
Start Jameer Jones said, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Not necessarily that I think it's a great hire, but it's been a talking point. How do we feel about Bobby Hurley as the next head coach?
Interesting.
Yeah, that is a name. That is. I was looking at that too. I meant to mention him. He's a defensive-minded coach too, which we could definitely use around these parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for the argument for Richard Pitino in the press, and the proximity to St. John's, you'd get even more with Danny versus Bobby,
The brothers
being rivals in the conference and only an hour away from each other. So you'd get that. I think it's a relatively safe hire. I just, he's a little underwhelming, but I wouldn't be against it, but I wouldn't be incredibly enthused.
I'm not sure Bobby's had enough success at the high major level. Like, I don't think he's really turned Arizona State into like this tournament team where they're perennially in the race for March.
Yeah.
And I also just think Dan Hurley's enough of a psycho to just like cut ties with his brother from the months of November to March. And it's just like, all right, well, it's not much of a rivalry because just like Dan Hurley doesn't talk to his brother. It could also just turn into a soap opera real quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
The father-son dynamic to me is a lot more different, I think, than the brother dynamic, because also then you run the risk of like, oh, older brother, little brother, and it's just like, I don't know. I think the father-son dynamic is a lot more different if Pitino were to come in. I don't know.
I know it could
That's
get
just
ugly.
me spitballing, thinking out loud.
No, it could get ugly. And his career at Arizona State has been a freaking roller coaster. Losing record, and then in 2017, 2018, they were third in the country, made it to the tournament. They were 20-12, had a couple more winning seasons. Then he had 2 losing seasons, then a winning season, and now he's had 3 losing seasons in a row. But maybe he just needs a change of scenery. He's coaching a big conference like the Pac-12. He's got that college basketball pedigree as a player, going to Duke. So I don't hate it.
It's a tough job. Arizona State's a tough job when there's just so much going on out there, non-basketball related.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like I said, I think it would be underwhelming. Maybe though, being 45 minutes away from his brother, being in the same conference with his brother, being the natural rival of his brother might kind of invigorate him a little bit. Who knows? So,
and we need psycho. The Hurleys, they're psychos. So it's like, we need that.
You're right. We can't. Kim is very level-headed, cool, calm, guy who, when he probably lays his head on the pillow at night and scrolls on his phone and sees everyone saying fire Kim, probably he's pissed off. Probably doesn't love it. Yeah. If a lot of coaches maybe like a Bobby Hurley might see that and be like, I'll show these pricks, So.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I don't think any of us are really sold on him, but definitely one that's been thrown out there just for the storyline aspect. I also don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but I've seen a lot of noise around the Oklahoma State head coach right now. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. I'm going to try and get the guy's name right now.
Oh, Lutz.
Steve Lutz. That's what, yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love that. I think that, Steve Lutz, kind of an interesting career. He spent, 2 years at Corpus Christi, 1 year at Western Kentucky, and then 2 years at Oklahoma State. I don't, but he's before he got to Oklahoma State, he was in the tournament every single year.
Yeah. All this guy's done is pretty much won for the most part, besides last year at Oklahoma State. They were 17-18, but 16-6.
18. I feel like 17 and 18 is a lot of games. Oh, he made it to the NIT quarterfinals. That's why.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Also, even just like the conference tournament.
Conference tournament, yeah. A lot of games.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you look at I just have his basketball reference page pulled up, but your first 3 years in coaching, you're winning your conference, going to the tournament, and then you take a job in the Big 12, which, like, let's be real, like, I'm not sure Rick Pitino could turn Oklahoma State into like a Big 12 contender in year one. You know, Let's goes 500 in a pretty log jam conference that doesn't really give many resources to basketball. So yeah, I mean, it's just at face value. Like I said, I don't know too much about Steve Lutz, but at face value, it's definitely interesting to look at.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's another good name. I mean, these are all solid names, but it's going to end up coming down to money. You're going to look at, like we said, character. You got to look at, have they won? What, track record. There's so many things, in little minute details that PC needs to look at when hiring this guy. I know I said it already, but this is just such a really important hiring at this time for the program, because you want to keep this buzz with the fan base. You don't want to lose the fan base any more than you already have.
Yeah.
Well said.
Totally agree. This is a massive hire, and it'll be a very interesting, 6 to 8 weeks here.
I'll tell you something else. This program's lucky that these guys are in the Super Bowl too.
Yeah, very much so.
Taking a lot of weight off of because if they lost the other day in Denver, it would have been blizzard, snowstorm, it snowed in, and all we have to do is watch these guys, and God knows what's going to happen on a game-to-game basis with them, and it would have been even more magnified. So that helps.
It's a very, very good point. The Patriots have helped this program so much being in the Super Bowl. I mean, we share fan bases, and it's massive. So rooting for the Patriots big time. That'll also take some pressure off if they do get the W against the Seahawks, which I'm expecting. Yeah,
how do you guys feel about the game? I'm Pat's money line. Fucking put it on the table. Come on.
I got the Patriots. I think they're going to win. I think that they got a very complete team, and I think that it'll be a fun game, but I think they'll win.
I hate to be that guy.
I knew this was coming from you.
This is good. He predicted us to go 30-2, so this is great. I mean, this is phenomenal.
I don't know. I think Seattle's the better team. I think when you look at it on paper, Seattle's the better team. But, the power of friendship, anything could happen. City of champions. So I'm rooting for a good game. I'm going to throw in an absolute nuke parlay, just like every prop bet I can take. I'm going to throw like $3 on it to win $1,000 and hope for the best. I love Super Bowl Sunday. I wish it was the Sunday before President's Day, so that's like a day off the following day. But I wanted to ask you, Mike, because you are the resident diehard of this show. Do you have any bold predictions? Because this is the last time we're going to record before the big game.
I mean, Patriots win this game. Win this game. I think experience is going to play a huge part in this as far as Vrabel and McDaniels go. I mean, these guys have been here. They've done this week. They know how to handle. I think a lot goes into how you handle these 2 weeks leading up to the game, and they've done it. So I think that goes a really long way. I don't think the May shoulder thing is that big of a deal. I think he's going to end up being fine. He's probably been playing banged up for a majority of the second half of the season, and he's got by, and he just had 2 weeks to get better. I feel great about that. I love our receiving core. I think Booty's been unbelievable. You always got to worry about a Steph Diggs. You got to worry about a Hunter Henry. Stevenson's been running the ball like a freaking madman. And the defense has been unbelievable. You can say what you want about the schedule being easy. They won the games, and I think they've beat the spread a lot. I don't know what the exact number is, but against the spread, they've been great. So I really like the Patriots in this game. Sam Darnold, I'm not scared of Sam Darnold. What are we talking about here, guys? Why is the whole country is against the Patriots? Because they hate the Patriots.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? It's Sam frickin' Darnold. Okay, I'm worried about Smith and Jigba. I'm worried about the running back there. I forget what his name is. Walker.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker.
Fine. This defense has been unbelievable this year, and the offense moves the ball. Why is it such a lopsided? Everyone's picking the Seahawks here. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. I mean, Mac, saying power of friendship when the opposing team does have Sam Darnold, is kind of crazy. I mean,
well, all right.
I do think the Seahawks are better, but, I think that
I literally just saw a meme today about like Drake May and the power of friendship, and it's like him and Mike Vrabel like holding hands. But I will say, actually, I want to give one shout out to the Patriots because they brought me my favorite NFL meme of the season. And it's a picture of Drake May's headshot, Stephon Diggs' headshot, and Kayshon Bouttie's headshot. And it said, "May I dig in your booty?"
We'll take it.
I thought that was the funniest meme I've seen on NFL Twitter all year. May I dig in your booty?
Fine. Put it on a shirt. If that's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. I just so fucking baffled that we've had the best NFL franchise ever in the history of ever. And neither of you guys are. Lev a little bit more, but Mac just is not a Pat fan at all. Like, how do you go through your childhood watching this team win Super Bowls? We're at the fucking parades. Woo! Get the duck boats going. And you guys are like, fuck it, whatever.
I was a diehard. I truly was. I used to live and die and breathe with the Patriots. And they were always like, it was always like Red Sox, PC, Patriots were in the same tier. And then I think I just like the football product not being as good. And also, after 2018, it was when they won their 6th Super Bowl, it was just like, all right, I've already kind of seen everything that I can see, accomplish everything that I can see my team accomplish. One when I was a little kid, one when I was an adult, and I don't know, I just kind of like lost the passion. I still watch them, I still root for them, but lost that like live and die with them kind of just energy for them. I mean. I wish it was different. I've tried. I've been like, I really want to be a diehard fan again. I just don't have it,
This is fair, but I think the fact that you go from basically worst to potentially first in 1 year from where this team was the last couple of years to go into the Super Bowl this year is just insane. It's absolutely insane to see where they're at. I didn't see this coming. I can't sit there and say like I saw this coming. No freaking chance. But I mean, this is exciting stuff. Nobody saw it coming. We're in the middle of a shitbag winter. This is the only thing getting me through it right now. And not to mention, you guys probably grew up closer to Gillette than like anybody, and you guys are closer to people in Boston, for Christ's sakes.
Well, definitely me. I don't know about Mac, but definitely me.
Like 45 away from Gillette.
Yeah, Smithfield was 30 minutes. I mean, we had Bryant training camp. I used to go as a kid all the time.
Oh yeah.
I grew up a diehard Patriots fan. I will say this year is the first time I've actually ever come to terms that I have lost some fandom because of the exact reason why you just said, where we went from last, to first and had a great year, new exciting quarterback, new coach. And I felt so little that I realized like, maybe I'm just not a diehard, I'm just not, I'll watch them, but like, do I really care that much? Probably not,
I'm just a ball lover. Universal ball lover.
Don't give me that cop-out answer.
I just want to watch some good ball, some damn good ball.
Oh, fuck.
Give me some JSN. Fuck. No, actually, I know I'm going to be your emotional support system here. I'm not. No JSN. Yeah, I want to see I want to see a Diggs go route, back shoulder, right, tripping over the pylon right there for 6. I want to see some damn good ball.
Okay.
I want to see a little Travion Henderson 60-yard run.
Why
Gets
not?
into the secondary. Cause a little havoc.
I will say one final thing is since the Patriots fandom has gone down, the Red Sox and the Friars has gone up, which I didn't even think was possible. But I am just like a disgusting, just sicko, just gross human when it comes to those two teams. So it's just I think. I
am too.
No, I know. I'm not saying you're not. I think as you get older, but the Celtics and the Bruins. I also lost that, and I used to be a diehard fan of those.
See, so that's where I'll get on board with you guys here. I cannot sit down and watch a whole Celtics game. I can't do it. I've never not cared more in my life less about the Celtics in my life. You want to talk about a product going down? The NBA product stinks. The college basketball product is way better than the NBA. I got nothing. See, that's where I'll go with that. I got nothing for the Celtics. The PC's my basketball team, man. I got nothing for the Celtics right now.
And I used to have it. Same thing with the Bruins, dude. I used to fucking every night watch Martin Lapointe and Bill Guerin and all these pricks. Like, I just don't care anymore, you know?
I've never been big on hockey, but I think if you told me to rank my Boston teams, unfortunately, I think the Celtics are 1. I know you guys might not want to hear that.
That's okay. No,
for the time being, the Celtics are 1. That's like, it goes like Friars, Celtics. And then there's like a tier where the Sox are grouped with my college football team, which I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that team on this show, but so the Friars and Celtics are 1 and 2 right there, respectively.
Yeah, fair.
Mack, you got your Alabama pajamas on today or what?
Yeah, I got them nice and spread out on the bed right now.
Yeah. Now you got Bryant Denny Stadium in the background.
Oh no, I gotta Photoshop that out.
We gotta blur that out
That's gonna be problematic.
My ranking's tough. PC's number 1. PC, Red Sox, Patriots. It's all bunched in.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. Like I would never be like, oh, like you like too many teams if that's the case. I will say one thing that is unreasonable that I come across with a lot of PC sickos, and honestly, Avid falls into this category, is this dude is he's a diehard PC fan, he's a diehard Red Sox fan, he's a big Patriots fan, big Celtics fan, big Bruins fan. He's texting about all the games, and I'm just like, how can you have the emotional capacity to be a 5-team guy, like a 5-team? That's where I just kind of like, I don't understand. 3-team guy, like that's normal. That's totally normal.
That's kind of my biggest concern.
When like, sorry, Mac.
I was just going to say I think that's my biggest concern with welcoming the Sox back into the fold is that now that the time has passed, I'm not 21 years old and I got nothing to do but to, fuck off all day. It's now I'm welcoming a 4th team back into the fold and it's like I have other things going on.
But the thing with the Red Sox, though, is that they're the only show in town in the summer. Like right now, if you want to, if you're a PC, Bruins, Celtics, and Patriots fans, you're basically juggling all of those teams right now at once.
Yeah.
So it's like summertime is Sox time.
And there's no better fanfare than going to Fenway. Like the Red Sox have it. Like you go to Fenway with the boys, which we will do. You get some hot dogs, you get some beers. You fucking get a little content, you have a good time. Like there's no better like fun time. Like you can't have that much fun, in my opinion, personally, at an NFL game. Personally, that's just my opinion. And a PC game, I think in terms of like if you're a diehard fan, it can be an incredibly great experience. But like in terms of just fun, like you don't have to be a fan to have like an incredible amount of fun at a Red Sox game.
I agree. My only argument for that is Patriots tailgate is a blast. Like I went to the playoff game against the Chargers. I'm with my brother-in-law and my dad. We had a fucking blast.
I know.
Ripped the tailgate, had a blast in the game. Granted, they won a playoff game, so everybody was excited. But that is if you hit everything in stride and they win, and you have the right tailgate and the right people, it's fun, man.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That's the only thing where, you don't have with any other sport is the tailgating aspect.
What if we started tailgating PC games?
Incredible idea. Just don't know.
Where would we do it?
No idea.
The mall?
Yeah, right. The mall parking lot or the mall parking garage.
I'm not going to say where it is, but the lot that I park in, we could probably get away with it.
I think I know exactly where you park, and you're probably right.
Yeah.
The mall would be okay. I mean, like this is a security team in the mall that allowed people to live inside of it for like 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they would have too much of a gripe with a bunch of drunk people tailgating a PC game. So
now so that documentary came out.
Yeah.
Haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it either.
I'm not too familiar with the story. Were people aware of it the entire time? And they were just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, man. Just fucking live in this little weird section of the mall. And they were just like, didn't have a problem with it?
So the way they portrayed it was that security had no idea. And then when they got caught, they made a mistake by, I won't ruin it for you, but the way they portrayed it was security had no idea. My personal opinion is that, like, I have known people that worked at that mall security, and then also at the parking garage, that have worked there. And honestly, I think probably some people knew and just really didn't give a fuck. Like, I really don't think, like, that's kind of just like, it's above my pay grade, like.
Yeah, who am I to tell them they can't live rent free in the basement?
Exactly.
Speaking about parking garages and whatnot, just a little update here for anyone going to the game on Saturday. It is going to be the Early Admitted Students Day as they welcome prospective members of the 2030 class who experience Friartown for the first time. So let's not scare away all of these early admitted students here. Let's have a nice day. Make sure they have a good time with the families. But they also wanted to let you know that due to other events taking place in Providence and the anticipated sellout crowd, the north and south parking garages may reach capacity close to game time. So they encourage you to plan ahead and reserve your parking to guarantee your spot in the garage. So that's what made me think about that. I saw this email today. What other events are going on? I've never gotten this email from them. What other events are going on?
It's probably like some sort of trade show or competition in the convention center where they need the parking, if I were to guess. Mike, you were reading that.
I think.
You were reading that.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was. Some
great voice, by the way.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out yesterday, Dunk legend, Frank Carpano was not in the building to
I didn't get called.
The public address announcing. And
well, you know why he's not there?
Why is that?
He's covering the Super Bowl for WPRI. He's out in San Francisco.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So my one issue with that is why didn't we give a good old Lebypoo a call and say, hey man, heard you got some dreams of being the PA announcer here at the Amp. You want to come give yourself a little tryout?
I would have crushed it, man. I would have crushed it, but they never got a call. It's okay, Also tough. I mean, I have publicly said that I do want the coach fired, so I kind of, but yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for my opportunity patiently, no rush, but I would like an opportunity. And then, I think MC, I think we got to make a change at MC. I think either of you two guys would be a great fit, for that role. So I think some changes need to be made.
Timeout on the floor. Timeout.
Yeah. Leb, would you keep that? Would you keep the timeout on the floor? Timeout.
Oh, definitely. As a homage to Mr. Carpano, I would.
Frank's a legend, man.
But when the opposing team calls a timeout because of like a big run, like the Friars going on a big run, and they got to call a timeout.
Oh yeah.
That's where I would give a little more energy than Frank does. Like if you ever hear Eddie Palladino with the Celtics,
really good.
Oh, yeah, it's electric.
And it's like time out, New Orleans, or some shit like that. Like that.
Yeah.
And then the fucking music comes in. It's absolutely electric.
He's electric.
And he's
really good.
Yeah.
JB for 3.
And he calls the timeout right after that. And then the music comes in.
Yeah.
Timeout Miami.
Yep.
He's awesome. That guy that does it for the Celtics is amazing. Like just and he's been doing it for a while, no?
Yeah, he's really good. But if anyone is out there listening and you want to sponsor the podcast, give me a read. We'll crush it.
Oh yeah. Oh, Mike's got you got an ad read voice for sure.
Yeah, that was really impressive for sure.
Here, I'll do one here. I'll do one here for Providence. We'll try to sell some gear. Gear up for game day with the AMP team store open throughout the game. Take advantage of in-game, in-seat gear delivery. As a reminder, when you purchase your gear from the online pro shop, you now will have the option to select game day seat location as your delivery method. Season ticket holders, don't forget about your unique discount code, which can be used all season long. And remember, go Friars.
See, that would be so much better than what we got now. Just a guy saying, "All right, Friar fans, get on your feet." Like, that's it. That's all we got right now.
Oh, I mentioned to say that in my opening. God damn it. About how, bad the season has been, but our guys still care, and we only have each other. We got to live by the Pants mantra right now. We all we got, we all we need. Everybody hates on this fan base. Everyone thinks we're a bunch of pieces of shit. But hey, in the end, we all we got, we all we need.
You can maybe you can make amends with the guy in your section. Then,
We kind of did at the end for like 5 seconds.
I think you guys became best friends.
No, hey, Mack, when we were fighting about if it was a bat or a bird flying around.
You're a bat. It's a bird.
Has anyone, Lev, have you heard about the bird? I think it's a bat that's been flying around.
I did.
I was like, oh shit, that's a bat. That's a bat. And the guy goes, no, it's a bird. I go, fuck you, that's a bat.
It's just two people just can't agree on anything. There's just sometimes you have those relationships. You just can't agree on anything.
I was like, and honestly, I was like, fuck it, let's have some fun. I was like, Mike, where'd that bat go? Where'd that bat go you were talking about?
Oh man, I miss going to the games. I miss sitting over there with you guys. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. I just don't want to risk it. I think I do got to go to the St. John's game. As long as I'm not sick or anything. So that's 9 days from now. So, but the Paul is just not worth it. I'm willing to take the risk if it's worth it, but it's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I wanted to go back to the ad reads because you knocked that one out of the park. Can you give me like an impromptu? If I give you a name brand, can you give me an impromptu ad read?
I can try about like why they should buy this said brand.
Yeah, some like copy and paste ad read that a company would give, like Dude Wipes. Give me a Dude Wipes ad read right now.
Have you ever been at the airport and took a huge shit? Make sure you buy Dude Wipes to have a clean ass throughout your flight.
That's incredible off rip. Like no preparation. That's incredible.
Yeah, that was good. He's a natural.
Screen record that and send it in to Dude.
Well, it's funny because I packed everything up the night before and I was at the airport. I was like, fuck, I wish I had the Dude.
This is a perfect ad right now.
Yep.
Oh man,
I'm trying to think of another one.
Dude Wipes would be a good one.
What about Blue Chew?
Blue Chew?
Yeah,
I've heard of it. What is it again?
It's like Viagra.
Male enhancement. Yeah.
I feel like we could have some fun with this one.
I don't know enough about it. Give me another one. Give me another one.
Trojan condoms.
Why are we on this?
Because I think we can have fun with this one.
No, I'm gonna get myself in trouble with Trojan.
All right.
Divine Providence.
There you go.
Have you ever experienced one of the worst seasons in school history? Come on down and listen to Divine Providence. We'll save you from jumping off a bridge. And remember, go Friars.
Oh yeah, saving lives and fucking talking hoops. That's what we do.
Let's fucking go, man. Let's go.
Yeah, tune in. Divine Providence, guys. You want a sticker? Come find us in the arena.
Yep.
So Saturday against DePaul, we have a game. Hopefully, get a W. Do you guys have anything else to talk about in terms of the game, or do you want to go on to the weather report?
I won't be there. I'm kind of pissed. I think this is the first home game I'm missing all year. But obviously going to be watching remotely. I hope Mike, you're in the building. I hope you have a good time and get a little rowdy. Don't cause too much trouble and come out with a W.
Yeah, we don't want to scare the new students, but I'll be in the building. I've only missed 2 games this year. I got really sick earlier in the year. What was that game I missed? I forget what it was. Random non-con game, and then I didn't go to the game last night, but I'll be there for DePaul. I really don't have much to say about the game, honestly. Just score more points than they do, and hopefully walk out of there with the win. Maybe guard the 3 for once. Maybe rebound the ball. have a couple set plays on offense, make it a product that people can watch and enjoy.
One note on not giving up threes before we get to the weather report. I found for some reason, Overtime has a channel on YouTube TV. And on my guide one day, it was like draft day with Jared McCain, Kyle Filipowski, and Devin Carter. And it's like a 2.5-hour documentary of like their journeys to the draft. So I was like, all right, cool. Like I'll watch it. I think it was like Monday, Tuesday night. I just like got comfy, threw it on the TV for 2 hours or whatever. And part of it, Devin Carter went back to Providence before the draft and everything. And they're kind of giving like a tour of the facility. And I think it was in the film room, there was on the whiteboard in all big letters, no cap, like all caps, like don't give up open threes, no open threes with no open threes for shooters. And I'm just thinking about it. I'm just like, dude, time is a flat circle, because that is like the only fucking thing that's like consistently bad with this team. It is just like open threes, open threes, open threes. But to see Kim preaching that 2 years before, I don't know. I just thought it was funny, and it was like a little Easter egg of like, oh yeah, well actually in 2 years that's going to be the worst fucking thing in your life is that your favorite team. Literally, I just thought it was a funny little Easter egg.
Don't give up open threes and just go hoop. If you know, you know.
Anyway, how about this weather report?
Yeah, let's get to Chrissy weather.
Yeah, Crispy Fryer was nice enough. Our resident meteorologist provided us with a weather report for Saturday's game.
Real quick, he's got a little hyperfixation on weather. So, I was like, this guy's perfect. He's got a great personality for it. So he's going to be doing the weather reports for us if you're going to the bars, if you're coming out to the game, so you know. So,
hey guys, appreciate you having me on for the inaugural weather update. Let's begin. This past week was Groundhog Day, and it looks like we're going to have another 6 weeks of winter for all you fucking people that believe in that shit, for all you snow lovers. This weekend, Saturday, looks like we may get 1 to 3 inches, just a light dusting, nothing too serious, nothing that's going to interrupt your time getting to the Friar game this Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. Next weekend, however, could be another huge snowmaker. Some models are saying 12, 24, some as much as 30 inches, way too far away to see. Check in next week. I'll have another weather update. This is my 30 seconds. I've been Crispy Fryer.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Electric.
Phenomenal. And, he looks ahead. He looks ahead. So that is an accurate weather report for the following weekend, which I hope doesn't come to fruition. But he's definitely a pseudo meteorologist.
You got to be shitting me with that freaking potential storm.
Yeah, if that happens,
we can't handle it, dude. I was in Southie last night. I'm actually in a candlepin bowling league at Southie Bowl. The owner of Southie Bowl, huge Providence fan, by the way. So shout out to him, Providence basketball fan. It's a freaking mess. So I lived in Southie for 3 years, and one of the main reasons I moved was because of parking, especially winter storm parking. It is a complete fucking disaster over there right now. There's nowhere to put the snow. People can barely park. People are still using the space saver, even though you're not supposed to. You can use a space saver for 48 hours after a storm. You're not supposed to use it. People are still using it, which I don't blame them, because if you take the time to shovel out your spot, you should be able to keep it for as long as the fucking snow is here. 30 inches more? What the hell?
There's no way it touches 30, right?
We'd be toast.
Yeah,
we'd be so toast.
Oh my god!
I do want to say, because Crispy did mention Groundhog Day, I had a take that I wanted to bring to this episode, and better late than never, because I wanted to get this take in. Groundhog Day was obviously this past, was it Monday? How about this? Punxsutawney Phil is a fucking fraud. Hear me out. Just stick with me here. Every year, Punxsutawney Phil either sees his shadow or he doesn't fucking see his shadow. You flip a coin. You do or you don't.
Yep.
Punxsutawney Phil, I did some research on this, has only correctly predicted the duration of winter, 6 more weeks or whatever it is, 40% of the time. So he has a 40% hit rate on something you have a 50% chance of getting right. He's below the Mendoza line. This guy's he's a fucking fraud.
He's a groundhog.
Yeah, he's a dumb little fucking groundhog.
He has something against small animals. He hates ducks. He hates groundhogs. So this could be.
I think we're peeling back the layers here.
It's ceremonial, It doesn't mean anything. It's a groundhog. You're mad about a groundhog being wrong.
Yes.
Hey, it's been a tough season, man. Anybody can get it.
Exactly. Yeah, seriously, if the Friars were good, I probably wouldn't be complaining about this. But Punxsutawney Phil can get fucking bent, take it deep. He's a fraud.
Oh yeah.
Send him down to AAA.
If we were like in the NCAA field right now, Mack would be like, I think this Punxsutawney Phil guy kind of knows what he's talking about. Like he is a pretty smart groundhog.
Is that like a party? Like, are they all like partying all day for that whole thing? How does that? What's the pomp and circumstance with Groundhog Day? Where is that?
It's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So are they like getting lit, like going to the bars after, or how does that work? Anyone know?
They should.
I think it is a little bit of a celebration, which is crazy because like what's really going on there?
It's a Monday. It's like freaking 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Don't you guys work? Like you came out to see a groundhog for ceremonial purposes. No, there's no scientific evidence of this working.
Actually, there's scientific evidence backing that Punxsutawney Phil is an absolute fraud and should be
exactly
should be banished into the shadows.
No pun intended.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be like an equivalent to, like it's a locational tradition, like almost like how like when the Boston Marathon, people who aren't running the Boston Marathon, like you're going to get hammered on Marathon Monday. It's like a thing you celebrate, but you have nothing to do with the actual event. That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, I see where you're going with that. Yeah,
it's just it's a big thing in our city, so we're just going to have a good time.
That is also a test of significant athletic prowess, whereas this is a groundhog seeing a shadow. So
a fraudulent groundhog seeing a shadow.
You guys should come up for the marathon this year. One of my good friends is running in it.
I love Patriots Day in Boston, man. It's just one of the best.
Dude,
days.
We'll go to the game.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I did go last year with my dad. Had a great time. That was the day we got Duncan Powell, and I was very happy about that. Did not work out at all.
No.
Can't stop trolling, man. Can't stop trolling.
Yep. All right, you guys got anything else? I mean, this is what almost hour 50.
Yeah,
that's pretty hefty.
Hour and 50.
It's been a while since we've just like hopped on, talked ball, and then second half just kind of shot the shit.
Yeah,
it's really just like
we can.
Yeah, we're kind of over the hump of like being sad at this point.
Yeah.
I think we're just kind of accepted our fate, and now we're looking toward the future and just having fun, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Friar fans, we got 5 weeks till the end of the season. I think we all know what's on the other side, the start of the off season, and give it 6 or 7 weeks. And that's not to say 6, 7, but 6, 7 weeks from now, we'll have hope restored in this beautiful program and city, and we'll be riding high again.
It's going to be exciting.
Yep. It'll be exciting. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say it's going to be exciting. It'll be fun. We'll have a press conference. We'll be able to, and this is if Kim English is fired. We'll be able to talk about it. We'll be able to react to it. I would love to be able to be on hand for that. I don't know how any of that works. We can figure that out. But yeah, there'll be a ton of buzz, hopefully.
The groundhog said 6 more weeks of Kim English, and that's it. So
that's why I hate that little fucker.
Okay. You would rather have 6 weeks or 2 years. So
yeah, fair.
All right. I think that's it. We feeling good?
Yeah, feel great.
All right. Go Friars.
Go Friars.
Go Friars and go Pats.
Go Pats. You're right.